welcome to This Is Why We Fight. I'm Jo.
And I'm Jordan.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're well. Welcome to a Monday stream. This feels rather unusual. I'm not sure we've ever streamed on a Monday before, have we, Jo?
Way back when, I think we used to, but it's
Really?
been a while. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Either which way, it's rather unusual. This is rare, and this will be a one-off. We're not doing this again because I'm too damn busy.
Fair enough. Just say what you mean there, Jordan.
Exactly. I don't pull any punches.
June 21st, says Monty. I don't know. Monty, is something happening on June 21st? I'm pretty sure we've never heard anything about June 21st. What's the latest?
For some completely unknown reason, I thought we was in July, and I was trying to think, what happened 2 weeks ago? This does not
the future stream.
Well, exactly. This does not feel like June. Admittedly, the weather has become nicer. So, I don't know, maybe we're getting there. Maybe it's because May was so bloody miserable and horrible.
Although the weekend feels like March to me.
It does definitely feel like March. Did it rain for anybody else over the weekend?
Yes, but briefly.
Good. I had a fair amount of rain on Sunday. I did not enjoy it.
This is the problem, isn't it? When you're starved of sunshine, and then you have a couple of nice days, and then the weather turns again, you feel robbed. Where's the sun? Bring it back, damn it! We're not finished with you yet.
Get back in here! I'm not done.
Do as you're told.
Anyway, tonight we are talking about the project that we have, the WRT 3D printer. The reason we've picked this, and by we, this is a royal we situation. Joe didn't really pick this, I did. The reason we've picked the 3D printer is because, as is well known, I have a love of metal. I like doing things with metal. I like doing... Well, not that I've ever done things with metal. I like the look of it. It looks fun. It looks interesting. And more importantly, it looks cool. I can't start off with metal, though. I don't have what I need. I don't have the space and all the rest of that. The electrical supplies to start off with things like lathes and machinery of that sort. What I do have, though, is...
the will to succeed. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
But I agree with Ben Mew. I do need a blacksmith guild. That'd be awesome. You threw me off, goddamn. What I was going to say
sorry.
we need to start somewhere, and I think electronics is an interesting place to start. One of the problems we have with electronics is the housing. Actually, housing things is kind of tricky because you need, if it's electronic, it basically is either going into a hideous mangy box that you probably got a lid on and you're just going to strap it down, or it's going into a custom made case. And that's where I think the 3D printer could come in. The 3D printer could make all that sort of stuff for us. We could have nice cases for electronics to go into, and then we could start making prototypes and things of that variety. That's why we're starting with that. Combined with it, given I want to make it as opposed to buy it, we're going to learn all about how it works, how the CNC software itself works, how it knows where it's going, and how it can work out height and all of that stuff and speed. That is going to be incredibly important for down the line when it comes to making our own CNC machine. Because that is the end goal of this. I want to make our own CNC machine. Eventually, I would like to make our own lathe and our own milling machine as well, so we can get into making metal.
Well, it goes so much further than projects and DIY. I mean, there are various things like, I've been baking bread for the last couple of weeks and trying to perfect this recipe. things like Pullman tins, which is a basic like a sandwich bread tin with a slide-on lid. These are incredibly expensive for what they are.
Is that how you end up with your square loaf?
Oh, my square loaf's amazing. But yeah, things like that, like crazy shaped brackets and bolts and all the stuff, again, that you have to sort of order online and wait ages for because no one stocks them because they're outside of the ordinary. They don't stock them in great number. All of these little aberrations, if you will. We can make all these things. We can make them. We can make prototypes for them. If you need something cut to a particular shape, you go to someone else, they're going to charge you probably hundreds of pounds for the time and material. We can make these prototypes and we can do this with and for our community. Obviously, we'd have to. Nobody is expected to provide materials for free, but you're going to be charged through the roof for these types of services. And we could do this incredibly cheaply. And you'd literally only be paying for the material. Well, yeah, but we're also going to have a lot of people starting projects where they need these base materials.
Well, that was my thought. At the start of the year, I was planning on doing a fair amount of woodworking this year, and it hasn't worked out. That probably will be doing it anyway, just not quite when I expected. One of the things that was interesting to me was the prospect of Andrew making a carpenter's belt and then buying it off of him. It's certainly doable.
Andrew's speaking of Andrew, by the way, just to let you all know, Andrew is taking a break temporarily from streaming because he has managed to make contact with his local community. Really, really pleased for him, but they have plans and they're busy. So he's going to be taking a break from streaming temporarily. Hopefully he'll be back at some point in the future, but he is focusing on his own projects and he's focusing on building up his community. So well done, Andrew. You'll be missed and we can't wait to see you back again.
Well said.
And also, by the way, Andrew's still going to be providing articles and things in the little bit of spare time he has. So thank you for that too.
He's making a leather wallet now.
Yes, I was just going to come to that comment.
Which would be nice, apart from the fact I have no money to put into it.
Well, that is the problem. I mean, it's the one thing. It is the one thing we don't have, Andrew. If you could make a leather money making machine, that'd be great.
That guy has a comment, and I knew this anyway. He was the toolmaker, which will come in handy for when we come to do that sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah, Ragnar's, you've done loads of stuff, actually. All of the experience you guys bring to the show is going to be so important because we're really going to need to pick everyone's brains and hopefully if we come together, we can really make this work.
Yeah, that's the plan. The plan, basically, when it comes to these 3D printer, it's not about the 3D printer. That, in and of itself, is great and wonderful. But the end goal of it is this is a tool. It's a tool that's going to be used. We're going to make prototypes with it. We're going to learn and expand our skill set with it. One thing I am interested in doing, and I'm also kind of nervous about this because this isn't something I do very well at all. I would like to show off things like Fusion 360 and how to make stuff in that. Fusion 360, sorry, I said that as if everybody knows what it is. What it is it's design software. So you can design parts in it and you can make it look how you want and all the rest of that jazz. And then eventually you can put it into your 3D printer and print it out, or you can put it into your CNC machine and mill it out. You can do stuff like that. And I'm really interested in doing that sort of thing on stream as well, getting people's input. Might be a bit of a weird stream because genuinely no good at that at all, and it might take a fair amount of carrying from Joe to talk while I figure stuff out in the background quietly.
Me? But I'm so quiet.
Oh, you
I don't know how I'll cope.
Like a tiny little mouse. I find it hilarious how you spoke over me.
Ah, some things never change. Yeah, no, this is such a good idea because we work together, we grow together, we learn together, and this is the beauty of it.
Well, somebody
Um,
might find that watching, like, take the Fusion 360 / Inventor series or episodes. Somebody might watch that and find it really bloody interesting. Then they might get into it. Who knows where that leads? You can download it, you can start fiddling around, find you actually have a really good grasp of it and a knack for it, and you could turn that into a job, designing
yeah,
parts for people.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a regular gardening show. I don't know if anyone has ever had to buy all their tools from scratch. I certainly was in that position, and they're incredibly expensive. You can buy the cheap tools and you get cheap results. The really good stuff is incredibly expensive. This is stuff we could make.
This is something that kind of annoys me about my dad. Because my dad always says, "Oh, I bought that and it was really cheap and it's lasted well." And then I asked him, "When did you buy it?" And he says, "Oh, about 40 years ago."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it was cheap 40 years ago.
1965.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did cost a fiver 40 years ago. The problem is with inflation, that's like a week's wages, for goodness sake.
Yeah. It is a little frustrating, but again, you've got to look at the time. Things were
Mhm.
built to last then. And this is really the key to everything we're talking about. Things are not built to last anymore. There are exceptions, of course, but generally, you get what you pay for. Things are so incredibly expensive that if you cut back on price, you are cutting back on quality. And we just don't believe that one should equal the other.
Exactly. Which is another thing I'm interested about when it comes to the make do a mainstream specifically. It would be interesting to build these things to a high quality and show it off. Because I know what chat's like. They're going to hold us to this. They're not going to let us skimp and save and cut corners. We want things done properly.
Yes, start properly. This has to be quality. This has to be quality for the
Mhm.
lowest price possible. If we're going to knock out cheap stuff, we may as well just ignore the project. Just go online, find a bunch of stuff in China or somewhere, and just order it.
Exactly. Which is partly why I don't want to buy this machine anyway. I want to make it, and that's why.
Uh,
I want to know everything
exactly.
that's gone into it. I want to know that it is as good as possible. But at the end of the day, as well, when you're buying something from somebody, you've got all their charges going on top of it. So they're sourcing it, they're designing it, they're putting it together. They've got all their overheads and all of that. The actual price of the machine itself could be, let's say, £100, but then they're selling it to you for 5, 6, 7, 800.
Well,
You
this
know,
is the problem. Even people who make their own stuff, the markup's ridiculous. But most
exactly.
people you'll find are agents.
It's
So they,
well, look at Amazon. Amazon's a great example of this. There's so many people who sell on Amazon and eBay. They don't own it. They don't make it. They've just bought it
exactly.
in from China. They've shoved it in their attic or wherever in a garage, and then they've started selling it online, acting as if they're making it.
And there's no real integrity about how safe or how long it will last. Because they don't care because they've invested all this money and they want to offload their product. But most of these people are simply not producing anything. They're agents.
Even
They
when it comes to expensive tools, if I remember rightly, Makita is owned by the same brand. Sorry, not owned by the same brand. The Makita tools, by and large, are the same tools as I think they're called Rapid. There's no difference between one of the really big makes and then one of the really cheap makes. The only difference is the color of the tool and the name it's got, and they're charging you 3-4 times as much.
well, this is the biggest problem. The increased price is not necessarily going to get you the quality that you think you're paying for,
Mm-hmm.
because it comes back again to integrity. A lot of these people are selling things that are supposed to be quality and they're just not. I wouldn't mind paying extra for quality if I was guaranteed quality, especially in this throwaway culture. We really want this community to blossom as really the start of the revolution. Enough of this throwaway culture. It's wasteful, absolutely wasteful, and it doesn't help anyone. If we want things to be better, we have to make them better. We have to go out and seek opportunities to change things. These things are not going to fall in our lap. We have to make it happen. But I think this is a noble cause. Because if we really push this idea of buying actual quality, maybe spending a few more pennies, but buying something that lasts at least your lifetime, the money you save down the line will be well worth it. But it will create a mindset with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That fixing things, maintaining things, looking after things. I'm guilty of this in the past. How many people do you know just leave stuff in the garden, in the rain, in the sun, and they don't put it away, they don't protect anything, they don't look after it? We really have become very sort of dismissive of taking care of things, generally. This is the royal we, all of us, society. That needs to change. We look after things, we take care of things, they last longer, we save money. There is no downside to this.
It's part of taking pride in our surroundings.
And taking pride in our productivity and our achievements. And what is it teaching our children, more importantly?
A really prime example. So a really prime example of that is Andrew, once again. His stitch work was fantastic for a first effort. And that was because he took pride in what he was doing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, his stitching there, while it may not have been perfect, massive air quotes, it was, to be honest, it was as good as anything you'd see out of a supermarket.
Absolutely.
So,
when I first saw the picture of Andrew's, I forget the name of it again, snip.
Yes.
What is it? A snip sheath?
It is indeed a snip.
Yeah.
He made a snip sheath.
Right. So, yeah. So basically, the first time I saw this picture, I thought he had machined the stitching. It was that good. And he had done this by hand, and he took a lot of care and gave it a lot of attention. And he had standards, and he maintained those standards. And it really showed in the final product.
Yeah,
DJ Mark, Crypto Shippo. You turning Japanese. Had to change my name. I got accused of racism. So I thought I'd better change it. Now I'm DJing. Well, thank you for the update, Mark. That's such a good name. Such a good name. That might be the best comment I've seen all day.
I don't know why that's so good. It just is.
Oh, we're so glad you're here, Mark. Oh, sorry about that. That's amazing. Well done. That's such a good name. Oh, completely railroaded the conversation. It's all good. We love it. That's such a good name. Genuinely.
I've forgotten where we were going.
Yeah, so we were talking about quality, like DJ Mark's name, quality. Putting thought and effort into your product. You know, you're talking about when you produce something, you're literally selling yourself. People buy from people, and when people see the care and attention you give to something, it's really reflected, and it's a reflection on you. If you're knocking out some cheap tat that's breaking every 5 seconds, that's also a reflection on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we are, Philomena. That was genuinely so good. So yes, you know, so we want to start a revolution, a change of mindset that we can produce quality, and we will. Sorry.
That's kind of what I said earlier on about how this is the start of our revolution, our industrial revolution. And by earlier on, I mean before the stream. Chat was not privy to this conversation. I just remembered. I'm sorry. I'm delirious with tiredness.
Oh my goodness! Are you admitting that you have conversations that other people actually don't take part in? Are you finally admitting it?
To be fair, You accuse me of this all the time, and I don't know why. I find
Because
it.
you do it all the time.
I find this a form of bigotry, and I don't approve.
Oh, are you triggered? Are you
I
triggered?
am. I am. I'm more triggered than that moron who writes for the Daily Mail and complained about Robinson tweets. Anyway,
Yes, anyway, back to the
where's I
subject
going?
at hand.
Yes, this is the start of our industrial revolution. That's why I wanted something that actually, it's something that would enable us to manufacture. That's what I want to say. That's why I've gone straight towards something that will enable me to produce more things, as opposed to something like carpentry, which is building something that produces an individual thing. You know, carpenters are wonderful. We need more of them. I definitely wish I was one. At the same time, though, making a table is making a table is making a table. It's not quite as not comprehensive. What's the word I want? It's not quite as useful as a machine that is able to produce more machines, which is effectively what the 3D printer build is going to be. The aim of this, as I've said, it is to get into electronics. It is to show off that sort of thing, which is it's something I'm kind of interested in doing as well. I teased that a couple of weeks ago on stream. I was going to build a little LED light. I didn't do that because when I floated the idea in my head, I was like, it sounds kind of cool. Then I started looking into it a bit more, and it's basically just Lego. Like, for lack of a better term, you get your light, you solder two little leads onto it, you then solder those to two other little leads, and then you plug it into a wall, and it's done. And it's like this is interesting. Not really my speed though. It's not challenging enough. It's like baby mode. What?
I know you hate baby mode.
I do. It's baby mode. I'm not interested in baby mode. I'm interested in hardship and difficulty, which is exactly what the 3D printer is going to be. Because that's not going to be an easy thing.
No, but as you say, it's, well, first of all, anything worth having is worth fighting for. And if it's that easy, you don't appreciate it. I think I've been thinking about this idea of entitlement pretty much all weekend. And this idea that we've come away from largely as a society, that if you want something, you have to earn it. I know that this community agrees with that and believes in that, but larger society is just so damn entitled. And I think it would be very good for all of us to get back to the basics of just working hard and seeing the payoff for it. I think it would be a good thing to make sort of automatic behaviour and recondition ourselves into the good, natural ways that we used to live.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is big. I mean, I appreciate, of course, they must be, quite large in size for the larger pieces that they need to make, but
I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what you would make with that. I'm not really sure what you would make with 3D printers at the best of times. It's a part of what this is going to be, hopefully. We'll see if it's certainly possible, but we'll actually look into how it is done and all the rest of that. It'd be quite interesting to put a little a router onto it as well, so we can have a wood CNC machine.
Roy says, Jordan, 3D print a von Neumann universal constructor and then just sit back and let it self-replicate with a smiley face. I'm assuming that's a genuine comment. I don't know what this universal constructor is.
I'm not sure. Sounds new.
And English Will says, so you are Meccano then? Ben Mew, we've discussed this at length. And depending how the future goes, who knows? Yeah, that's my answer there. Will says the big one is cool. You could make a death robot. We have those already. It's called AI. AI delivering those jabby jabs. Yeah.
Anyway, this is something we could add on to it.
I'm so. Can I just say to the chat, I'm quite lightheaded tonight. I'm really deprived of sleep. So if I sound a bit drunk, it's sleep deprivation, and yeah, that's why I'm being a bit silly.
I am an all. As I said, I am an all. This is why the Monday stream is not lasting. This is a one-off.
Yeah, this is
basically
a precursor.
I'll explain what happened. Basically, we were kind of shuffling the days around, and for some completely unknown reason, we both said, "Oh, we're not doing anything on Monday. How about we stream on Monday?" And for no reason whatsoever, we both agreed to it. And then we went live and said, "Oh, we're doing a stream on Monday." And then about 20 minutes after the show, I thought, "Wait a minute. That's not a good idea. There are reasons Monday is not a thing."
Yeah, then reality kicked in, and Jordan remembered why he's never available on a Monday. So
exactly.
Yeah. Daffyd says, "Big 3D printer can make baby 3D printers."
Heck yeah, that's the plan.
Yes, indeed.
I want to make stuff. I want to make smaller tools. I don't know how big to make it. But as I was saying, I would try to add in a router as well, so we can start making wood carvings and things like that out of it.
It's going to be fun, and it's going to be a learning curve, and we're going to basically pick up things as we go along. Again, we really, really, really would appreciate any input from you guys. If you know anything, if you have any skill in this area, that would be very much appreciated. If anyone has used a machine like this before, or if anyone has ideas about what we could build it to accommodate, some things that may seem obvious to someone who's done this already wouldn't necessarily be obvious to the rest of us. So as always, your chat contributions really do make a difference to the projects that we're working on.
They most certainly do.
Will's asking, could you 3D print a face mask? Well, I suppose we could, but we're not going to. We're not playing along with this fantasy.
But they exist.
Oh, goodness.
What is it with these people?
What is that thing on the left of that picture?
On the right, okay.
What on earth is that?
You mean this?
No, I mean next to it. Next to it. Go further left.
That?
It says 3D printable. Below it. The thing that looks like a freaking aardvark nose. What is that? Why is that on his face? No, not that one. To the right of that one and to the right again.
Oh, for flip's sake. What do you say second row?
What is that? What is the purpose of that? What is that on the end? A scoop? Is that like some kind of food filter?
It's like a little elephant trunk.
Or a little hoover. So you can hoover up your food, so you don't have to take your mask off because you're a sheep.
How is this? How is this a mask? Apparently, we live in La La Land, where we are the only reasonable people.
Go back up, go back up, go back up. The column on the left looks like a bird's just sat on this person's face, which is a dummy. What is that? Please tell me, what is that?
I think that opens it up.
Why? Why would you walk around with that on your face? Oh my God, it's a bat. Is it a bat?
I don't know what it is. It's weird. I don't like it. No, none of these are what I wanted. I wanted to see the previous thing. Where the heck is it gone?
Sorry.
You're what I want. You're what I want. Mask connector filters cap.
Oh, there's so much wrong with this. Do you know what? It occurred to me all these people that got taken into hospital at the start of the lockdown, they needed oxygen, didn't they?
Yes, because they've been wearing these.
Yeah. So when you're ill, we need to give you oxygen, and there was a shortage. But do go on wearing a mask that, guess what, it deprives you of? Oxygen. It literally makes no sense. Oh, these are awful.
None of this is wholesome. I don't like it.
Absolutely
I do not
awful.
approve. This sort of thing, I
Roy,
think, is kind of interesting. Sorry, go
Roy
on.
summed the last thing up there. Money wasted in the bin. I
Well
absolutely
said.
agree with you, Roy. It just goes to show, doesn't it, that it's very easy to part an idiot from their money. For goodness sake. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
As I was saying, this is the sort of thing that, yeah, maybe not we could build, but it would be interesting as a little hobby project. Design this up in like Inventor or Fusion, and then print it up and see how it comes out. These little clamps by the looks of it, I'm not entirely sure what they are, to be honest with you. But this sort of thing, little corner clamps, are bloody useful, especially if people do a lot of woodworking or even a small amount of it. They are very, very useful.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that very much. There are lots of little sort of tweaks now to your traditional tools. Things like you could like shoving a pencil in with your tape measure. I know it seems like an obvious thing, but yeah, there are loads of little tweaks, and we could definitely get on board with those. But the price of some of these tools are ridiculously expensive.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's one that would make Joe happy.
I suppose, again, it doesn't really matter what material you use. Obviously, there's difference between materials, but again, if it's made with quality, then yeah, you can definitely improve the quality. You can improve the strength of something. It does depend on the care that you put into the process. DJ Mark says, "Oh my, it's going to take me a while to get past this. Plus, if I read your name out again, I'm going to start laughing." Says you can make cogs and all kinds of moving parts.
One minute. This is a really important thing. This is something that actually really does attract me to 3D printing. Things like cogs are, if you know what you're doing, they're probably not terribly difficult to source and then work out which ones you need. For me, on the other hand, I'm not that way inclined. I like to do something and then it doesn't work, so I swear at it a fair amount and then I do it properly. Something like a 3D printer, if I was just able to do that, create a gearing ratio with 3D printed parts, it wouldn't last very long. I'd be fully aware of that. It wouldn't last very long at all. But I'd be able to put it in and see if it works. That is incredibly, incredibly valuable.
Question for you and the chat, actually, whoever knows. If you were to make something from plastic, for instance, and it wore out or it snapped or it broke, could you recycle that plastic and reprint it?
Yes.
Brilliant. So if you've got the core material, you're saving a fortune.
Yes, this is something that I want to do as well. Seemingly, it's from what I've seen, I've looked into this because this was one of my first thoughts. Seemingly, what you do is basically you just put it into a hopper, you melt it down, force it through an extruder with like the little heating element that's already in the printer. You force it through that, and it will then remelt it into filament that you can use. Then you basically just need a way of collecting it off of that, cooling it down, and then wrapping it up. But yes, you can do that.
So the other benefit of that, of course, is when you first start with a 3D printer, you can essentially reuse material over and over again.
I don't know how many times you can reuse it, but yes.
Well, while you're playing around with it, while you're perfecting a design or something, you could keep using. Maybe it does start to deteriorate after so many uses, but you could still use that, couldn't you? Rather than wasting other material to just kind of perfect designs and work out kinks and tweaks and things. So that's a really good idea. Little Bullet says, talking about weird faces, why don't you print lightweight, waterproof gargoyles and grotesques for sale? You can buy them, but they're expensive. Well, this is the point. I mean, depending on anyone's business idea or any other ideas that come to them, we could produce the prototype for literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to consider.
This
Will says, sorry.
I was going to say, I just came across this and clicked off. This kind of taps into what I said about electronics. This here seemingly is a 3D printed mouse. If you're that way inclined and you want to work out how to make a mouse, like all the electronic gubbins and all of that, you could do it. But without a 3D printer, you'd never really be able to use it. Here, with this, you'd be able to 3D print it and then put the gubbins inside, and you have a functional mouse.
Yeah, but you've still got to produce the casing, right?
Exactly. Like, that could be bloody interesting if you're that way inclined. If you enjoy the electronic side of things, that I would really enjoy working out how things work and then building it.
Or you could do that with a keyboard. I mean, you could go as far as you're prepared to.
Exactly.
Will says, to be serious for a moment, you could 3D print a colander. Yeah, the sky's the limit. I think if you have the right materials, I don't see what you couldn't print, really. Obviously, depending on the size that you have for the printer itself.
Now we're talking. 3D printed drill.
Wow.
That is something I want to do because I complain constantly about drills. To be precise, I complain constantly about the batteries in the drill because I despise batteries. But that would be a really interesting project, because then you'd have to make the drill. You'd have to probably prototype out or buy, maybe, I'm not sure. You'd probably just buy the gearing system, and then off and away you go. Black and Decker. I have a Black and bloody Decker drill, and I hate the epoxy thing.
I have a Black and Decker drill. I love mine.
Oh God, it's awful. It's absolutely heinous. The thing I don't like about it, right? You can drop it, and there's always that, oh, is it going to break feeling? I don't like that. I want, if I drop it, that the earth that it has landed on felt punished.
Oh God.
This comes back to the fact that when I was a kid growing up, my dad had a drill that my grandfather gave to him, and it was a proper drill. It was that if you hit someone with it, they'd die. It was a proper magnesium body drill. It was heavy as all hell. Didn't need a hammer function on it. Just, turned it on, and the thing you were drilling into knew that it didn't stand a hope in hell, and just gave up. It was wonderful. And then you got this cheap, chintzy little plastic thing that creaks when you pick it up. No, I don't like it.
I'd be more impressed with that story were I not the proud owner of 2 frozen, defrosted, rock-hard baguettes. Yeah, I would say it's one of those baguettes. You're definitely going to knock a bit off them. My stepdad's not mean says, Jordan, do you need CAD for the printer?
Do you need CAD? Yes, I would assume so.
I'm
not entirely sure how the electronic side of the 3D printer works. This is something that I've been looking into, and I can't really find any information. I would imagine if you look around, which is what I'm going to do once I find my voice again, sorry. I would imagine if you look around, you're going to find things on GitHub, which are basically just little operating systems you can put into an Arduino, and it will communicate with the CAD software. Nice. Or the slicers, as they call it.
English Will says Black and Jordan. There you go. Black and Decker's finished.
That's what reminded me of Black and Decker. I hate Black and Decker so much.
Lil Bullet is asking, is there heat-resistant 3D material? I was actually going to
Oh,
ask this
absolutely.
myself because the motor in a drill obviously gets incredibly hot. And I know that there must be heat-resistant material to make drills because we all have them. But yes, 3D printable heat-resistant material, that must
Yes.
exist, surely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what the UV protection materials are like because in a drill, I think that's what does it rather than the heat itself. I think it's the UV rays.
I
There
know
you go.
nothing
Roy
about
knows
this.
things.
Hasdak is asking, can you print me some center wheel caps for my car's alloys? They're like £15 each. Joking aside, yes, we could. If we've got the raw material and we've got the right size printer, then yes, absolutely we could. Will says, I'm excited about 3D printing tabletop game pieces. A lot of times it's hard to get replacements for old games. Oh my God, do you remember when we did that game stream and we found that thing with the ball bearings, the thing that's been banned? I definitely want to make one of those.
I'm trying to remember what that was.
I think it was called Ricochet. Chat will
Oh,
know.
yes, I remember.
Yeah. And one of those tabletop, I can't remember the name of it. You've got like a little flat disc thing with a handle, and you use it to push another disc around into a goal.
Do you mean air hockey?
Maybe. I don't know. I
Wait a
never
minute.
had one. It just looks fun.
Yes.
Yes, that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
air hockey. I like air hockey. It's
So
fun.
we could make stuff like that. You could probably 3D print the legs too. Roy has confirmed you can use any CAD software, save as STL file, and pass off to the printer. I've got a feeling, Roy, we're going to be picking your brains a lot for this. So thank you for that.
I do too.
English Will, this is a really good comment. It says buttons, missing parts on machines like the hi-fi. All joking aside, yes, missing parts or parts that are snapped or broken, they could easily be reproduced.
Absolutely.
Sabutio, says Barndor. You could probably 3D print little soldiers. Well, we were talking about as little cast iron soldiers
The
that
little
we used to
army
have.
men.
You could buy them for your children and they could paint them. There's a project for your children. Oh, there you go. As Hasdak says, could I copy model kits and print them off? I'm fairly certain you could. That's amazing. That's a real fan of Subutia. I don't remember the stand all the way around it, but
What do you mean a
wow.
stat? I'm sorry, that's what you're focusing on, not the mullet.
Oh, I didn't even look at that. All that dodgy moustache. Looks like a used car salesman. He looks like Mickey Pierce from Only Fools and Horses.
Do you know what? I haven't seen a mullet that good since the big man, Colin de Gondom, last week. Flipping heck.
Lil Bullet says, design a 3D PC CPU cooler with fans. Wonder if you'd be able to produce motherboards. I know there'd be some soldering and electronics.
Motherboards, definitely.
I could upgrade my PC.
Just buy it. Just save the time. I've looked into how it is done. It's actually magic.
Oh, okay. Harry Potter land, here we come. What do you mean by magic?
No, I mean how PCB boards are made. To me, it's just magical.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to my mere mortal brain. Electronic engineers are something to behold.
Roy, with a little dose of reality here, says, you guys need to have a good look at the raw printed materials, the finished quality or lack thereof, and the price per kilogram. Again, Roy, definitely going to pick your brain, but thank you for that. Will says, if you can 3D print little bases stands, you could paint little pictures on paper and make proxies for miniature soldiers. These are all really good ideas. And yes, the cost is going to have to be balanced out by the quality that it produces. But if we can make stuff that we can sell, we can raise money for better quality raw materials. So it's a case of doing the best with what we have and building it up over time. But your suggestions are always really gratefully received. So if anyone has any suggestions for something, sort of a starter project once the printer's made, That would be really, really helpful if anyone has experience with it. DJ Mark says millimeter layers on PC boards, so quite fiddly then. And Hasdak is asking how much are 3D printers. So that's something good to know. Let's have a look at the cost
About 200 quid.
of buying one
Yeah.
versus
About
making one.
Yeah, about 200 up. You know, reasonable consumer ones are about 700, between 2 and 700.
I know
And
you've
then there
looked
were
at these.
these.
Can you, while you're talking, can you bring up a picture of one that's approximately 200, please, so we can
Yes, I
see
can.
a rough size? Thank you.
I'm gonna have to get rid of Colin from the screen. I'm very sad.
As someone mentioned that, there you go. My step does not mean said that was the Chris Waddle mullet. Most of us remember that.
Yeah, as Daffy says, about £1,000 for semi-commercial. Once again, like all things, it depends on what you're doing and what it's for. What exactly separates, like the Prusa here? What separates the Prusa from the ungodly expensive ones like this? I don't know. That's something to look into. Because ultimately, I'd want to build something that is as good as possible for a reasonable amount of money. I don't want to build something that is near enough 12.5 grand, because that's going to be excessively expensive to build and get the parts for. On the other hand, I don't want to build something that you can buy for like 100 quid.
You've also got to take
well
into account. You've also got to take space into account as well.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be stored somewhere where it's protected from the elements, and it has to be stored in such a way that you can use it without moving it, especially if it's a larger machine. So all of these things need to be taken into account. Andrew said the Creality Ender 3 version 2 is 300.
Yep. The Ender 3s are quite good from everything I've seen.
And Roy says you can get a 3D printer that prints using homemade wood pulp and use it to produce biodegradable planter pots.
I've seen this. I only came across this the other day. What did I put? 3D printed wood. I'd never heard of this. I started, for some reason, I just put in 3D printed wood. I wanted to see what would come up. As you can see, you can do it. It's actually amazing. I never thought of this. It makes perfect sense. Wood is a great material for this. It's how wasps survive. They just chew up some wood, they effectively turn it into sawdust and then spit on it, and they make their little wasp hive.
Yeah, we don't want to encourage wasps. What are you talking about? They sting. We don't want to discourage them either. But even so, yeah, like I'm going to be a NIMBY when it comes to wasps. Sorry.
No, I
love nature. I love nature, but not the painful, stingy parts.
I don't do wasps at all. I'm actually deathly afraid of them.
Holy
Embarrassing.
crap! Stop! Look at those watches.
That's pretty
amazing.
Cool. That's really cool, actually. I like that. Once again, if somebody's interested in watchmaking, what a great thing. A fully handmade watch.
Now that is something I think that people who appreciate quality would definitely go for.
Agreed.
That's wonderful. Daffyd says the resins are quite dear. Mrs. Daffyd makes plastic crap sometimes. Oh, what a lovely glowing endorsement. I hope Mrs. Daffyd isn't watching this stream, is all I can say. English Will is asking how much for a laser scanner, and that armchair is amazing.
What is a laser scanner? What the heck? I'm not entirely sure this is what Will meant. Home?
Can you, do you mean the laser scanner that goes into the machine?
No. What I think is this. You can get little scanners, as you can see here. There you go. This one here on top right, this is something I've seen before. Basically, it is exactly as it sounds, it's a little laser scanner. You can then a 3D object. This bed here rotates so it can get all angles of it.
Gotcha.
And then you can put it into your software and make it.
That's kind of brilliant.
It's absolutely ingenious. I have no idea how you'd make it. Let's have a look.
DJ Mark, while you're looking that up, says I can put an MP3 onto a vinyl record and it plays and acts the same as a record. Now that's dark magic. I love vinyl records. I don't know why the sound quality is just so much better.
I've never heard one.
Deeper, richer.
Look, an album I very much love was recorded on a Sony Walkman. I don't care about sound quality. It's irrelevant to me. Talk to somebody else who cares. It's not me.
Well, no, you don't care because you blast music out and you kind of...
I do not blast music out. You have your music so much louder than I ever do. My music is always very soft, which is hilarious, considering it's basically just... Well, it's not basically. It is just metal.
So Jordan plays headbanging music, but he has it down low. And I play things like Motown and 60s stuff and whatever. And I have to blast mine. But I do care about the quality. I've wanted for the longest time to get some Bose speakers, but they're just way out of my price range. So if you want to knock up some Bose-like speakers, that'd be great. Roy says the difference in price is accuracy of print.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Roy. So, yeah, you're going to have marks and gaps and things, aren't you, if you're making a subpar printer?
What you're going to get isn't so much gaps and marks as lines. We can have a look at that in a moment. I'm just looking into Will's question now. Seemingly, you can do a homemade 3D laser scanner, and there are things on GitHub which you'll be able to download and use as software. How this works, I have no idea. I think this is also a form of magic. I don't understand how people do this sort of thing. It's genuinely mind-blowing to me. But there you are. Yes, if you're interested, you can definitely do it, seemingly.
I want to celebrate with the entire chat. Thank you, Barndor. This is our first donation. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
If I chip in a £5, can you make me a rubber ducky for the bath?
I can make you a little boat.
We'll make you a little rubber ducky family with some babies. Will says if we could 3D print a skull, we could become goths. Ben Mew says I'll pass. I'm kind of there with you, Ben Mew. Hasdak is asking, is there a metal 3D printer? Do you mean, can they print metal? Definitely yes. I'm not sure what else you would mean. So unless you can clarify.
Keep answering yes to this. I've not seen this. I need to look into it.
You definitely could print with metal.
Anyway, but one second. Getting back to your original question of quality, and you said gaps. This is the sort of thing you get. You end up with like weird little jaggy edges. It's not smooth.
So it's not smooth. It's not finished properly.
Yeah, basically. From what I can tell, anyway, that's basically it. There you go. So it looks awful. It's not good.
Yeah, that does look a bit... I mean, I suppose you could hand finish it, right? You could tidy it up.
Yes, but it's not the point. You want it to be dead
You want
on.
the quality.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how you could 3D print metal, I'll be honest. Not at home, anyway.
No, I'm not saying that you could just do it, at your dining table. You've obviously got, industrial machines that can do this. Because you'd have to melt down the metal. But I knew that I'd seen metal 3D products.
No, apparently, I'm just completely and utterly wrong. You can do this. That is completely new on me. That is not how I would have imagined doing it. I don't particularly understand the benefits of doing that. Maybe I'm just dense. To me, the glorious part about metal is you're able to carve it out as you need, and there's no wastage because you just sweep it up and you send it back. So I don't know. I'm missing something here. Maybe speed of production.
So is this being fed through an extruder then? Essentially,
Yes.
it's pouring the metal.
I would imagine the way this works is effectively you're just welding layer upon layer upon layer on top of itself. That's what this appears to be. I don't know. I'll have to look into it some more. That's how I imagine it would behave. Chat can tell me if I'm wrong. I all but certainly am, because until 2 seconds ago, I didn't believe this was real.
Right, Roy said something, and I do apologise, Roy. I'm a little bit behind on the chat. He says, I do that first as you can make the material yourself, and the rough finish doesn't matter. It's a feature, not a bug. And I can't remember what that's in response to. I do apologise, Roy. Do you remember, Jordan?
I vaguely do, but not enough to comment.
Okay, so I really apologise
sorry about
there,
that.
Roy. Could you make a good spade or fork for This Is Why We Dig, lol, Jordan? Yeah, I definitely think garden tools are something we should focus on. Not exclusively, but yes.
I suppose you can make like a plastic dibber.
Well, you could make hand fork and a hand trowel or something, couldn't you? You could make building stuff.
It was about printing with wood pulp. Roy's comment, sorry.
Right. Well, you can sand it. If it's a wood product, you could sand it, couldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Much
I'm
easier
kind of
than
interested
plastic.
in 3D printing with wood. That just sounds weird. I'm into that.
On that topic, One Easy Money says chess pieces. Well, we've mentioned this before. What a great thing to make.
Absolutely. Just game pieces in general. It'd be really interesting.
Ben Mew's telling you off. You have to blast metal. I'd kind of agree, Ben Mew. You can't play that softly.
I know, but I appreciate my hearing. There you go.
Oh, DJ Mark, thank you for this. I don't know how you pronounce this. Kerwin Vega, best speakers. Never heard of them. But I will make a note of that and I'll have a look. Thank you. Are they expensive? I bet they are.
Audio normally is. This is why I don't like audio. Why is it so expensive, for Christ's sake?
Right. I've made a note of that. Thank you very much for that, Mark. Roy says quiet metal is gay. I can't disagree. English Will says, yeah, they use lasers to cut metal. So you can do it by laser, I guess, or you can do it by 3D print. Ben Mew says, this is my problem with 3D printers. Unless you go big, go home. Well, as Jordan's building one, it really does just come down to the space and where it would be located.
The shed.
Will
what
says,
I'm hoping to do is spend... Let's live in fantasy world for a moment where we know how much things cost. Let's say your average 1,200 quid 3D printer costs, I don't know, 500 quid in parts. I would be quite interested in buying up those 500 quid in parts and then building it. So for 500 quid, we have something that is basically worth 1,200.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, the only other cost is time, but the point, but it's about the journey, not the destination. The journey is just as important. Will says a milling machine produces results like a 3D printer. That's good to know. Maybe you can produce a milling machine with your 3D printer and then use the milling machine to produce goods made from wood. Barndor says weird science size is the size. We're not producing women. So just so we're clear, what a good film that was. So funny. Right, just trying to catch up real quick. They have their own amps attached, but the sound is incredible. Yeah, it's probably a bit too incredible for my purse at the moment, but I will keep that in mind.
Can you make them out of wood, Joe?
Why don't you make them out of wood, Jordan?
You can make... this is something you can do. You care about sound, not me. You can easily just buy the little speaker head itself and then make a little box to go around it. There you go.
Well, that's
problem
true.
solved.
That's true.
It's not even that devilish, just a square box. You can do it.
Daffyd says, can't you just whittle one? Sorry, couldn't resist. Don't encourage him. Save up. You know what, Mark? There are lots of things I want, but the thing I need right now is a car.
Yeah, it's not a speaker.
With everything we know is coming, I'm absolutely terrified that it's going to kick off and I don't have the means of escape. So yeah, car is my number one priority. After that, then we'll see. But thank you so much for the suggestion. Made in Cornwall says, can't you print
I do
money
have.
instead of the government? We could print our own currency. We couldn't call it legal tender, but yes, we could. But it would be like a voucher or a token or like monopoly money.
Just like theirs.
Roy says 3D printing involves less blood. I think he's referring to your whittling.
That's less fun. This is why I want to go from 3D printing over to metal as quickly as possible. As I said earlier on, the aim of the game is 3D printer, work out how that works, translate it into a metal CNC. That's the plan. Anyway, we'll see how that works. It may work, it may not work. Who knows?
We
But it'd be
will.
interesting to give it a go. Or at the very least, some sort of like heavy machinery.
DJ Mark wants us to do a GoFundMe. I think this is for the printing our own money thing. He says he'll stick a tenner in. Woohoo! Oh, then he says, okay, 20, because I ignored it. We genuinely can't do this, unfortunately, but what a lovely idea. Ben Mew says create our own central bank. I think if we can start producing things relatively inexpensively and help each other out, I still, for the car. Oh, bless you, Mark. I couldn't take money from people for something for me personally. It's very kind of you. But going back to the money thing, I think if we can get people into this mindset where you can make things and we can keep the costs really low, and people start taking a bit more control over their income, I think a lot of the issues, the financial issues, we've got to put money back in its place. It's a tool to get the things that we need. That's all. That's all it is.
£180,000. What the heck is this?
Wow. For that money, it needs to go out and source the raw materials for you.
No, for that money, I'd expect to buy half the bloody Congo. The most intuitive, simple to use metal 3D prints available today.
It does say though ultra fine resolution, and Roy's point that you're going to get a better finish the more you spend.
What is 50 microns in a real measurement? Microns are the stupidest measurement. No, I want these in inches, preferably thousands.
While you look that up, I'm going to crack on with the chat. Roy says, please live stream the building of the printer for the lols.
That is the plan.
Yeah, Roy, we want you to co-host. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, you do always need these things, and while they're relatively inexpensive to buy, the reality is, again, if you need something specific that's not carried by, and let's face it, who wants to go down to B&Q or something? We want to go.
Oh, don't get me going on B&Q.
We want to start going to local tradesmen. And yes, I said tradesmen, so sue me. No, don't sue me. I've got nothing. But we want to go to local hardware stores and start putting money back in their pockets. And these people just can't afford to stock everything, unfortunately. So yes, we could make things like that. Made in Cornwall says, I can't get it in my head how these printers work. You'll soon learn, because yes, Jordan is going to live stream this.
The basic principle behind them, not behind this wonderful godless monster. I want to get this. mainly because it's so unbelievably expensive. I want to see what it can do. Ignoring that though, the way it works, basically it just kind of melts some plastic. Plastic goes through the little hole, makes it tiny, makes it something that can be directed around, and then the computer tells it where to go. Simple as that. It is, on the face of it, very simple. In reality, it's still not terribly difficult. It's just the magic, as it were, behind G-code and all of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun project. We really hope that you all get on board with this, take an interest in it. Really, really, really hope to fire people up and inspire them, and just really give you something to look forward to. This is actually quite a big deal, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a learning curve, and it's going to be fun, and I really hope everyone gets involved. I hope you turn up and show loads of support to Jordan. And again, if you have any suggestions, any tips, any really good advice, please share it. We would very much appreciate that. It's going to be lots of fun. Now, I know on the next Make, Do and Mend, Jordan is going to start pricing up the parts, aren't you? Or you're going to do that before the show, but you're going to go through it.
What I was thinking, actually, on the next part, it depends how interesting I find the subject. We may look into the electronics behind it. That might be the first thing on the agenda. If we look into the electronics, the Arduino, how that works, we can then use that as a springboard. We can look into the software and all of that, and then we can go into the pricing it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends. We might do it the other way around. I'm not sure. Needs a little bit of research, but that's certainly doable.
We're definitely going to crack on with this. I mean, the research is part of the process, so we're getting straight onto this. Jonathan says, Joe, you need a big 4x4 when it hits the fan. I know I do. For now, I'll be happy with just 4 wheels and a steering wheel. Not even joking. At the moment, I have nothing. And just the thought of having no escape doesn't sit well with me.
I keep telling you.
I'm not cautiously optimistic about the future, and I think everyone should have an escape plan, an exit plan. Ben Mew's trying to get a 20k bank loan tomorrow. I don't know what this is for, Ben Mew, but good luck. When's the first stream? Right, I'm glad you asked this, my stepdad's not mean, because what we're going to do is give you a quick rundown of the permanent change to the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've got here. Oh God, we've got loads of pictures of midgets. We were looking up something. Don't even ask. We were talking about midgets, and I said, "How come you never see a picture of an obese midget?" And oh my God, they exist. They absolutely exist. They do exist. And oh, they're just awful. Oh God, definitely need a palate cleanser after looking at those, and I just forced myself to look at them again trying to find this. But anyway, so
that's your own fault.
So we're going to put this up as an offline banner, so you can check back for this anytime. It will also go up on the Telegram channel. It will go up on the Discord. But here's basically what we've come up with. So because Jordan works over the weekend and he has lots of homework to do, if you will. So Mondays, we're not going to be here. But that will be my day to research. So what we're going to have is Tuesday is Let's Talk About. We're going to go through the headlines again like we did before, because we think it's important that we mock the hell out of these people.
This was a very fun stream, I think.
It is. It's fast paced. It's not kind of stuck on one subject for too long. And
What's comment?
I'm gonna put this up.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Jordan, would you be kind enough to grab the Discord link for Ben Mew, please, while I read through this? And yes, Roy, I would love to have Jordan laser print me a car. Not even joking. God, that's that's such a good comment. Okay, anyway, right. So while Jordan's grabbing the Discord link for you, Ben Mew, I'm gonna quickly run through it. So Tuesday will be shut up, Jordan. Tuesday will be Let's Talk About, where we go through the headlines. Wednesday is the Warden's meeting. That's not going to change. That's where we'll give you updates on various things. Thursday is now going to be Make, Do and Mend. Because we have the gardening stream every other Thursday. The Thursdays where there's not a gardening stream, that's going to be Make, Do and Mend. Obviously, as the project gains momentum, we may do extra streams. We'll kind of play that as we see it. And then Friday, it's basically Let's Talk About, except we're going to start ripping apart opinion pieces from these crazy activists who think they understand society. And we're calling it, we haven't got an official name yet, but for now it's going to be called Your Opinion Sucks, and Here's Why. So there you go. So that's
I
the
find it accurate.
lineup. That's the lineup going forward. So yes, so Monday's off. So we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We are live. We're not doing any podcasts for the time being. There will be the odd occasion where Jordan has to be away on a Friday for work. On those weeks, we may have to do a podcast, unless anyone wants to join me for a live stream. We'll kind of play that one as we see it as well. So yes, so that's the lineup. So we won't do a Make Do Amend this week, of course, because we've got the gardening stream this Thursday, and they
A
will
very
just
important
rotate.
gardening stream.
A very important gardening stream. So there you go.
I popped the link into chat for you. Could
Wonderful.
you pop that in? Because for some reason I've been logged out on Restream.
Oh.
It did kind of go up, but it didn't go everywhere. I'm very confused.
Very weird. So yes, if you are not already on our Discord, please feel free to jump in there. Fantastic community. All of our updates will be on Restream as well. We're also going to put updates for the channel changes on the website. I'll give you the website. Just to remind you all as well that you can actually listen to our streams on the radio. It is audio only. It's actually a radio station. So you're not going to get the benefit of any visuals listening via the radio.
So for that reason, the Make Do Amend stream won't be going on there because it's just kind of a bit of a waste.
It will frustrate people because they can't see what we're talking about. But
it's just not worth it.
The Let's Talk About and the Friday stream, Your Opinion Sucks, which is really growing on me. Those will be going out on the radio. So if you want to tune in, and the beauty of it, again, is that you don't need to have an app open. You can actually close your screen on your phone, plug in your headphones, put it in your pocket, and crack on with whatever you were doing. Mm-hmm. So,
and eventually, hopefully, we can develop our own app. We can go download it on the App Store and wherever else.
We are, yes.
You'll be interesting.
And that means you'll be able to listen to us at drive time. We're really going to grow the radio station. We want to get people... We've only briefly covered this, but I'll quickly say, if anyone makes their own music, good music, fun music, music people want to listen to, and you want to get... Oh, the Discord link has expired, says Roy. Do you want to drop it again? I don't know. I don't know how that's possible, Roy, but we'll get you another one. But yes, if you produce your own music, we're going to set something up where you can send us an audio file. We will play your music on the radio. We'll give you a shout out, your name or your band's name or the album it comes from, and we will absolutely do that for you. If you're producing anything where you are the intellectual property owner of that thing, we can announce it and play it on the radio. We've looked into licensing for music, and it's extortionate. It's designed to keep people like us out of this system. It's thousands of pounds per month. And the only way we could possibly do that is to start asking people to pay for it, and we just won't. But if you own the rights to your music and you want us to play it, give you a shout out and give you some free publicity, just drop us a line, send us an audio file, we will happily play it. So anyone who's got demos out there, anyone who's got things like artwork, we'll happily pop that up onto the website as well. Just please get in touch if you've got something you'd like us to promote for you. English Will says, we need jingles for the radio. Yes, we do.
I quite like that little one you came up with the other day.
Oh,
it was a mixture, but I don't know. It was kind of like Countdown, but autistic.
Brilliant. So yes, it's Warden Radio, and we do need to come up with a jingle. So again, if anyone's musically inclined and they want to put together something a bit, I don't know, jazzy, snazzy, upbeat, whatever, go nuts.
Yeah, Countdown, but with a spasm.
Oh, that's good. My stepdad's not mean says, what about opinions rest in peace or ripping opinion pieces to pieces? I don't know if I could say that, though. That's quite a mouthful to get out. Thank you very much for that suggestion. We've got loads of stuff coming up, and we're trying to keep things kind of fresh and interesting. And we're also really genuinely looking for people who are very good with words to write articles for the website, social commentary, specifics about a trade or a skill that you have. So again, please get in touch if you'd like us to promote your article on the website. We would be more than happy to do so. I'm very grateful for your contribution.
I have an update.
Oh,
Before we
go ahead. Yes.
50 thou is about 2,000ths of an inch. 50 microns is about 2,000ths of an inch. So 2 thou.
Is this a new made-up measurement for
What?
3D printing? Microns?
No. Microns are the metric version of thousands. Yeah, that was an appropriate response to anything metric. Yes, I approve.
Don't complicate things, just let's stick with what we've got, what we know.
I approve.
Hasdak says, can't help, I'm a school reject. So am I, actually.
I didn't even go.
No, we will get there. But yes, the more people contribute, obviously, many hands make light work. So we'd really appreciate anything that anyone wants to contribute. Obviously, keep it clean, keep it sensible. We're trying to build a platform that has mass appeal so that we can get our message out to as many people as possible. Oh, God. That said, I have to read this out. Roy says, Chris Whitty looks like a middle-aged trans Greta Thunberg. You know what I have to do?
I know, I can wait. Oh, that isn't the one.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but it was middle-aged and trans. Come on, that one fits.
You debated me.
But this is my favourite. Oh, I can't believe people sent this to her so much that she had to send it. That face, though, that's literally, when people look up autism in the future, that's the picture they're going to see.
That's so incredibly mean.
It's true. She looks like she's about to tear someone to pieces. Oh, okay. Greta. Greta, you...
Do you know what would be funny? Could you bring back Smoking Greta, please? Unfortunately, I don't know my cigarette brand, but it would be amusing if she said, that isn't me, I don't smoke Camels.
Oh, dear. Just while we're going through some old photos, let's have a look. What else have we got? Oh, look at that. Bill, 65, works at multi-billionaire. I can give you an exclusive third dose.
Oh no, I just got the conversations of that. I hate this so much. I don't approve. What I was going to say is we've got an interesting article to go through tomorrow based upon him.
Yes.
Carry on.
My Mayor Ratweasel video finally uploaded.
Ooh. I've forgotten what it was. No, we can do that tomorrow.
What?
We can do it tomorrow.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
We got to keep them going. Tomorrow we have great videos, apparently. Allegedly.
Yes.
I don't even remember what the video was, I'll be honest.
It's the one where he lies. All right, that could be any video, to be fair.
I was just going to say, that's every video ever.
But it's, yeah. I don't even know if I want to show it to you, to be honest, because no one deserves that kind of punishment. Awful little rat man. But anyway, yes, so we've got loads coming up. We hope you'll stick with us. We're so very grateful for those who have so far. This project is going to be amazing, very interesting. It's something brand new for us, and I hope you all enjoy it.
And most importantly, thank you for being a part of our first Monday stream. This is the
Yes.
first and the last. And thank God for that, is all I can say.
Yeah, we've been doing this for quite a while now, and we are genuinely grateful for everyone sticking with us and showing support. It really does mean everything. So thank you for that. Have a very good evening, all of you. We are back tomorrow, so we'll see you at
Indeed.
7:30.
See you then. Bye for now.
Bye bye.